My point being that the school system is often structured in the ways that we can learn more easily and teach a variety of people and do so efficiently.
School systems were designed before the internet. It was designed before the YouTube. So I'm here trying to teach them how to learn in real life while you're at school. So in my school, every kid is given a smartphone, a laptop, an internet access. You're supposed to have it. In other schools in our country, nobody gives these things. They take it away if you could take it to school.
Because once again, it's built on the reality we are in, and without actually utilizing the solutions, or rather different ways,
Right.
which might actually be better. We are using the ones we are used to and find rational.
A typical school would teach chemistry, biology, math, sciences. We don't teach any of those. I haven't seen any school system designed post-internet era. So my schools are designed for two purposes. One is leadership. On the other hand, we were teaching them freelancing to make them $500 a month. And when they earn $6,000 a year, we help them start a startup so that they can make $1 million exit or $1 million startup while they're at school. This school system is designed for fixing the economic problem. Hello everyone, I am here with
Moltas. Yes.
It will take some
No
practice
problem.
with me.
It's unusual in Sweden as well.
So, you are from Sweden. Do you have any friends from Pakistan?
I don't even have any online, actually.
How much do you know about Pakistan?
I mean, we've done some schoolwork on it, but
So tell me whatever you know, without being embarrassed.
yeah, in general, sadly, since it's coursework, you forget it rather quickly. The school system isn't built to actually retain information. So I don't know if I know that much in reality. No.
Any people from Pakistan?
No.
Malala?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So Pakistan is in between India and Iran as a physical space.
Yeah.
Pakistan is 250 million people. That means 25 Swedens.
50 million people. 250 million. Yeah.
25 times the size of Sweden.
Yeah.
It has minus 50 degrees in summer and plus 50 degrees summer at the same time.
Okay.
And because it has the 10 highest mountain in the world, and it has very hot weather in the south and very cold weather in the north. So the Himalayas are in the north.
Yeah.
It has the second largest salt mine. So the Himalayan salt comes from Pakistan.
Okay.
And 60% of the country cannot read or write any language.
60%.
So around 140 million people cannot read and write anything in any language.
Okay.
Having said that, they also have smartphones. So 150 million have smartphone out of the 250 million. And
once again, how many?
150 million people have smartphones. So 15 Swedens have.
Yeah, no, I do understand. Yeah.
And the per capita income is officially used to be $1,200. And because now the dollar has been reevaluated, so you can say it's around $600 to $800 a year.
Okay.
So that means that average income per household is around $100 a month or less. So it's in that spectrum, it's poor. It is also rich. For example, 1% population is pretty rich, pretty decent. And that means 2.5 million people are very well-to-do, which means the size of Bosnia. So the size of Bosnia is around similar to Sweden income.
Okay, yeah.
It has 220 universities, around 500,000 schools.
That amount of population.
And then you have around 200 50 startup incubators. So
Startup incubators.
Yeah.
Meaning.
So startup incubators are spaces where people who want to do the startup like yourself
Okay. Yeah.
can go and get incubated.
Yeah.
Help. So there are 120,000 private schools in Pakistan. A majority of them are for lower income and medium income school children, and their fees is around $2 to $4 a month. The school fees.
Yeah. Okay. Because you pay for the school. Yes. Yeah. It's a private school, and
There are government schools which are free, and people don't like them because their quality is really low. So they send some time to private school, and then the private school, because they only charge $2 to $4 a month, they pay salaries anywhere from $10 a month to $20 a month to young adults like yourself who would be working there, especially girls. They work as school teachers. So that's kind of where we were. So if any question pops up in your head, you're more than welcome to ask.
Oh, not directly. It's lots of information to process. Definitely. Will this be available later?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Fantastic. Yeah.
So I run a school which I'm creating from scratch, which is targeted to help people earn at least $500 a month.
Okay.
From $100, I want to accelerate it to 5x. And in our high school, we don't teach regular studies. We teach entrepreneurship, yoga, meditation, breathing, discipline, and freelancing, and Python.
Choose yourself.
No, we created this school.
Okay, this is the curriculum.
This is the curriculum.
Okay.
Of the school, and the goal is that if I hope in the next 1 year I will be able to guide these students to become somebody like yourself who can then earn $500 to $600 a month doing kind of similar stuff that you do, but not just for the local space, but the whole planet. Because if you do what you do and try to sell to people in Pakistan programming for 25 euros an hour, most Pakistanis cannot afford.
No.
So similarly, if you do what you do and try to sell it to Pakistanis, again, they can't afford. So I convince these kids to do what you do, and don't sell it in Pakistan.
Sell it outside.
Sell it outside, because the per capita income outside Sweden, Norway, America, Canada is higher. So they do what you do now, and others who live in Pakistan can do what they do now. Like they have computer degrees, master's degrees, but they still earn $100, $200 a month because they don't look for job outside Pakistan. They are comfortable and they're used to doing stuff in their local space.
They're within that confined reality.
Correct. So my work has been to help them see beyond their borders.
Okay. However, I'm just surprised that there aren't more sources to receive this information.
There's Google, there's Yahoo, there's YouTube. But have you heard of the story of Frederick II and the Potato King? The Potato King.
No.
So in 1700s, there was Frederick II in Prussia, which is now Germany. And there was a famine in Europe. And he introduced potatoes to people that, there's famine. If you grow this vegetable, it grows really well in winter. You can really have food. You don't have to go through famine. But most people refused. They said, no, we're not going to eat this because it doesn't have a smell. The dog doesn't like it. The pig doesn't even eat it. We're not going to eat it. It's a bad vegetable. So what he did was he took a small farm, put a couple of hundred soldiers around the farm, and declared the farm as royal farm, and royal potatoes were being planted over there. And nobody was allowed to have them in there.
Yeah, I've heard a similar story about scurvy when they tried to introduce, was it sauerkraut? But in order to make the sailors actually eat it, they only allowed their captains to do it. And so they were well, they wanted to actually eat it after that. So it's rather similar.
Yeah. So even though potato was a great thing, people should have eaten, but they did not, because people don't do what is right. People do what people do, and they watch what people do. So it's
what
not
they're used to and what they're
used to, and they just know this, right?
Yeah.
So there's a study that 70% of the farmers only plant stuff which their neighbors will grow. They will not do any innovation.
Okay.
So most humans are like this, unfortunately, that most humans, even though they can go online and make friends like yourself and start to question and understand the culture and then look for work overseas or elsewhere, they just don't.
Okay.
So now let's look at the flip side. Now, Pakistanis can look for work here. What can Europeans do with Pakistan?
Yeah.
Because you think
I can't offer my services because I will not receive a fee that I feel is reasonable, and they believe it's too expensive.
But you have a superpower as a European. And that superpower is that not you particularly, but people who are 40 years of age, 35 years of age, have seen the last 20 years and the change that has happened in their own society. And because they've seen the change happen, so for example, you live near Malmo, and Copenhagen. So if you go and see something happening in Copenhagen, you will say, I think that is really cool. And I've been living here. I see it. This restaurant started. It grew in the next 5 years really well. It just evolves. I think I can do it. And what's the name of the city?
In Loma.
And Loma people say, no, this can never work over here. This is really bad. This is not going to happen. But you are confident because you've seen it in front of your eyes grow from nothing to a large, amazing restaurant.
It has been proven to me.
It has been proven to you, but not to anybody else in Loma. So everybody in Loma will say, no, dude, you're going to ruin your father's money. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. They will stop you. They will keep you away from trying to do this because you're just young. You're like destroying this and da da da. So now you have all of a sudden a superpower that if you just fly in to an underdeveloped country, you actually know the future. Because you have seen it happen in your own country, and every country will eventually have McDonald's in every street and Starbucks.
Because these are concepts that have been proven to work, and so why wouldn't they work? Well, with enough time.
Yeah. So this is where I think, this is why you were asking how long have you been doing all this and connecting people, and why do you connect, is because I ask people in that part of the world to come here, and I ask people to this part of the world to go there. Because if you go there, now you have superpower of being able to see the future, which those people don't have. So if you go there, you just hang out there, you can just solve a problem like this without knowing, because you've seen it happen in your own country. So when I travel the world, I've been to 85 countries, I've seen a lot of things, I've lived in a couple of countries. So when I go to Pakistan, I see everything can be fixed. It just takes time and just money and a little bit effort to fix. But people living over there, they go, oh, it cannot be fixed. You are going to ruin everything. You're wrong. So that's a challenge for people in general, that they can't really see what they cannot see.
No. They need to change the frame of reference. Yeah.
That's why when you bump in together, you start seeing things in a different way because you're a friend online. If you become friends with somebody, after some time you can shout at them, you can punch them. They're just friends.
Yeah,
you're not going to break your friendship if
that's already been solidified. Yeah.
Correct. So if it's solid, like Cillian. For the first 3 years, I couldn't talk to him. I was like, this guy's weird. He has this weird hair. I don't know how to speak with him. He doesn't speak to me. I'm like, he's like snobby. I was totally wrong. He's sweetheart. He's nice. He's smart. But I had no concept of reference with him.
No.
Right. Then I stayed with him in his house, and I was so freaked out living in his house. I was like, what happened? What's going to happen in this house? And then the light passed finally, and I woke up and I was alive and I was okay. And then the trust goes up and up and up.
Yeah.
So now then I took him to Pakistan. We spent some more time together. It takes time. So that after the friendship, then you can punch people on the face, but you can't just punch them if they're doing wrong overnight. So that's why I'm more interested in creating these friendships, because just by creating these friendships, people just change. They just evolve.
I mean, socially, we would want to change. So yeah. You're you're using a natural thing, definitely.
Yeah. So what you can do as help to me is that I think a few hundred people will definitely connect with you.
Oh.
And if you have any other friends who would want to connect with my network, please introduce me. I make an introduction. And in my school, where I am teaching how to make $500 a month, the biggest challenge is exactly that they don't believe that it's possible. So they don't believe it's possible, they don't try hard enough. Because they don't try hard enough, they will never get there. So it's a conundrum that it's a challenge.
But they have gotten over the step of, they don't believe that it's possible maybe, but they might believe, that they have someone who's showing them it. So they've taken the first step and now they need to have it proven. That is the step that you want people to be able to partake in and help out.
If they really believed it, they would work harder.
Yeah, exactly.
And because they don't believe it, they have to trust me enough. Like when we trust our own parents. I was talking to a teacher of our school today and he was like, I will do this, I will do this, I will do this. No. Please don't do any of these things, because all you have to do is just do the small little steps I'm asking you to do, because it's proven to me. I know it works.
Which steps?
Just, I want to do this and I want to do this. Certain small little things in the school. But he was coming from another school and he was bringing all that baggage with him. Like a typical school would teach chemistry, biology, math, sciences. We don't teach any of those. And because we don't teach any of those, the principals, the teachers are very skeptical of, are we ruining the child's brain? So, for example, I went to the school and they were teaching them how to write in our language. And after the school, I asked the teacher, when was the last time you wrote a letter with your hands? He said, 2 years ago. I said, why are you teaching this to the students?
Because once again, it's built on the reality we are in, and without actually utilizing the solutions, or rather different ways, which might actually be better. We are using the ones we are used to and find rational, but that is only rational within the frame of reference.
Right. So then I asked her, when was the last time you had to use a computer? She said, yesterday. I said, we teach them today how to use a computer. She said, no. I said, why are you not teaching that? Right. So then again, I saw a teacher teach basic English on the blackboard. And I said, why are you teaching them these? I said, because that's how you teach English. I said, is that how you learn your mother tongue? He said, no. I said, how did you learn your mother tongue? Well, my mother was speaking to my father and I just learned. So I said, well, why don't you play movies in the classroom and watch movies to the kids?
I partly agree with you, but the fact is, if you play movies, you will get a part of the actual learning experience, but you both have to be motivated and in the correct setting. So you either have to create the same setting, which would be rather difficult. As in, when you're learning your mother tongue, you're with your family. You're talking with people who all know the language, are there to help you because you're often a child. So they are actually motivated.
But they don't force you to learn and correct your language at the same time.
No.
First, you're just happy with mama, right? And if the kids are not willing to even say mama, how are you going to take them to the next step? And in the schools, traditionally, we just take them to the next level. I can speak
without actually perceiving their actual level at the moment.
Correct. So, for example, I can speak in maybe 10, 15 languages, basic words. Right? I can order my food, I can say hello, I can say thank you. I don't know if it's grammatically correct or not, but every time I talk to them, they think I'm local.
Oh, wow.
It's because I have practiced it enough times that I don't think about it anymore, and I just do it. When you speak in Swedish, you don't think, you just say it.
Yeah, that's
You're
correct.
wrong.
Yeah.
But the teacher is forcing them to think, am I grammatically correct? And that ends up people not speaking.
Okay. Yeah. That part I do agree with, definitely. So by removing that need to be absolutely correct, you can develop at a faster rate.
You and make more mistakes.
Definitely, but you still get understood
your mistakes.
Yeah.
And then, okay, what did I do wrong? Okay, I did 5 mistakes, but I did 50 no mistakes. So instead of encouraging us, we point the 5 mistakes in the paper, right? So why not encourage the 50 and the 5 will slowly just go away?
Yeah.
It's just another method of learning.
Okay, but because when you originally said this, I believe that you meant that you propagated for learning outside of school, or rather, well, you're talking about the form. That's what I meant as well. My point being that the school system is often structured in the ways that we can learn more easily and teach a variety of people and do so efficiently. So although it might be better to have a good situation to teach one individual because they will develop faster, it might not actually be possible to do for lots of people.
Well, it's 12, 15 students in the class.
Yeah.
You watch a movie together, you watch it for 10 minutes, or you watch a cartoon together, you watch it for 5 minutes and you pause it, and then you ask, what did you understand? Can you explain me?
No, then I do agree. Yeah, definitely.
So that helps you learn the language, even if you don't learn the language. So for example, if I watch a Swedish cartoon, I might not really understand everything, but I will start picking up one word at a time, and then eventually I will be like, it'll be like my mother tongue, because I'm actually understanding what's happening before I'm actually speaking.
So you're developing it for... That is super interesting. So you're developing, you're almost coming at it from another angle, in the sense that instead of building you're building it intuitively. And
I think the school systems were designed before the internet.
Yeah.
It was designed before the YouTube. It was designed before a LCD screen was $100, right? So now we developed books which were cheaper. So we went through books, and I don't have any books in the school. So why not live life and learn just like you would after you graduate? You get a job, you don't go to school. You still learn. You're still
definitely.
learning. But this is how we learn. We sit on a computer, we Google it, we YouTube it, we ChatGPT it, and we try to understand what's going on. If we don't go to school and follow a particular pedagogy,
and we still manage to learn,
and we do more stuff. But in school, we're just cramped with weird way of learning. We don't learn how we learn in real life at school. So I'm here trying to teach them how to learn in real life while you're at school. So in my school, every kid is given a smartphone, a laptop, an internet access. You're supposed to have it. In other schools in our country, nobody gives these things. They take it away if you could take it to school. So in Sweden, maybe you're allowed to use a smartphone or a computer or Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
In our country, you're not allowed to use computers.
Because that would be distracting, I assume.
Right. But here, this is what it is. There's no distraction. The goal is to be able to freelance, to be able to get order. So
once again, I didn't actually understand your point from the beginning, because my frame of reference is so different. So the change you want to make, I absolutely agree with. But, well, it's just intuitive. It's already here for me. So I wouldn't even assume it to be a problem. And once again, that's the future, so to say. Okay. Cool. Do you know of Sami schools? No. So there's a minority here in Sweden and Nordic country. Well, Sami, you probably know them. And I not that adept, or rather, I don't know that much about them. But I was writing a text about the what's it called? Following. Well, the fact that they have been. I'm trying to find a word. Sorry. They have been followed and harassed through centuries, like other minorities. Point being, as part of that, I was writing about these school systems that they were using, which were replaced by the institutional schools and the Christian school systems to teach their values and in their way, as a way to make them conform to society. Could it be that school systems were developed as a way to make people more conformant, as a almost consolidating method?
General school system, you mean?
Sorry?
The general
school system, yeah.
For sure. Because if we don't have conformity, if we don't have similar values, then the society cannot exist.
No, exactly.
If everybody was like Cillian or Rebel, you can't control the society. And if you can't control the society, you can't really grow the society.
But that is, once again, we need to have an exchange and become friends. And often that would be easier if people share the same values.
Yes, but it takes huge amount of time. There is, like, for example, if you look at Sweden, Sweden has not been taking sides for a long, long time of any wars or any parties, or Switzerland. So, okay, let's talk about Switzerland. The value system takes time to ingrain in people, and the way mass media like television is used, the schools are used.
The value system. Sorry.
What is valuable to you? For example, you have Jantelagen. The law of Jantelagen. How do you say it?
Oh, Jantelagen. Yeah. I get it, yeah.
But it's a value system within Sweden.
Yeah.
It's a value system over the Nordics. It's not a value system in other parts of the world. And how does everybody know about Jantelagen if they don't go to school? How do they create this unity of an ideology? This is why the schools are created, follow a particular order, so that when the child or a person comes out of the school system, you become Swedish, or you become Norwegian, you become American, you become XYZ country. The nationalism is ingrained, the history of the nation is ingrained. But all of these were designed for industrial age, and conformity, and pre the internet era. And I think post-internet era, I haven't seen any school system designed post-internet era, for the post-internet era.
No.
And that's what I'm trying to build here. I'm trying to build a new kind of school where the citizens of the schools are human beings, or earthlings, not Pakistanis, not Swedish, nothing else. That's why I am having this dialogue, so you can connect with these kids and kind of understand, why are we doing this? Why are we connecting? We're connecting to understand each other's value, create a new system altogether to create a better value system for the planet.
A value system that can be shared.
And if we don't do it, the climate change will destroy us, AI will destroy us, or some other...
Any kind of problem. The point is we can't work together.
Yeah, because we are looking at each other as enemy instead of us. It's they or us. It's not all of us. And that's
but the thing is, you spoke about the fact that you can't punch someone after directly having met them, or just recently.
Punch them or tell them something.
No, that is a hyperbole, or hyperbole, obviously. But still, the fact that you can treat someone in such a way and still manage to be friends, well, if you don't do too much, is interesting, because when you're talking about making enemies, well, nations treat each other in a way that the other nation isn't really okay with, and so they respond. But if we had shared values, a firmer friendship, we would be able to tolerate such discrepancies much more easily.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Once again, circling back to the Sami schools, actually, the way that they were teaching before the school system was replaced, they still do in part, but it has been irrevocably damaged, obviously. was that they had a school system where people rather went around exploring, doing different things, and having, well, some central people that could teach them about things they were asking about, but having a very loose approach. So no set curriculum. Although that can obviously be good, because then you get an easy access to a specific subject that is always positive, or well, for the most part, positive. They had a very loose curriculum. No, not curriculum. That allowed them to explore the subjects that they were interested in. Is this something you believe in? Having a loose, almost, do you know the Montessori school system?
So the loose system is currently being tested in Finland. The Montessori is not loose system. The IB is a little bit international baccalaureate.
Yeah,
is a little bit loose system. But my interest right now in the system I'm making, which one part I did not tell you is, okay, here's the money part, that we help people make money.
Yeah.
But we also help them become a better leader. How do we do that? So say you are very interested in education.
Yes.
So if you were a student at our school, this is the methodology we will do for you. First, we will give you a new last name. We will change your last name to education wala. And education wala means a person who is interested in doing work for education. So the moment somebody meets you, they instantly know, oh, he's interested in education. Second, as an education wala, now you have to watch one TED Talk about education every single day in English. Then you have to make one TED Talk, same TED Talk every single day about education, and then post it on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. And then not just that, you have to tag the person who gave the original TED Talk saying, hello, I watched your TED Talk, it was blah, 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 and here's my video explaining what I learned, which makes you a friend of that person, right? And then if this...
Because now you have shared values.
And if they connect with you, you interview them for half an hour like we're doing.
Yeah.
And then they really become friends. So we do this 1,000 times for every student, because every day they're here for 4 years.
Yeah.
So in 4 years, you will end up watching 1,000 TED Talks.
Okay.
About education only.
4 years. That would be more, wouldn't it?
Than, but
yeah.
Take out
okay. Not relevant, yes.
Sundays and all that. And then you have interviewed 1,000 human beings who are specialists in education.
Yeah.
And they are your personal LinkedIn connections and Facebook connections and Twitter connections. And they know you. It's not just that you know them. They know you because you interviewed them for half an hour. So you become this phenomenal Malala, you become this phenomenal Greta Thunberg of that subject. So each student in our school is assigned one SDG goal and a sub-SDG goal. We have 150 goals. Sub-SDG goal, SDG, you know SDG goals?
No.
So SDG goals are designed by United Nations 5 years ago.
Okay.
Sustainable Development Goals for Humankind.
SDG, yes.
SDG goals.
Okay, yeah.
And there are sub-SDG goals. So for example, my SDG goal is ending poverty. But you can end poverty in many ways.
Yeah, no, we work with them a lot in school. Yeah.
Right. So this is how we make them an SDG goal specialist. And this person, if you made 1,000 videos on YouTube only about education, I would have known you already. You would be a lighthouse on education. So what if every child did the same about one problem? They will become a phenomenal human being of that subject.
See, I love both parts of this. I recently discovered that I was...
So coming back to your original question about the Sami school. So my schools are designed for two purposes. One is leadership. This is how we make leaders because they watch one TED Talk a day. And it's not just the end. They also have to do an online conference about water every 6 months with the people of the planet. And a lot of other things. So we make them into, like, as I said, Greta Thunberg or Malala of that subject. This is how they become leader. And on the other hand, we were teaching them freelancing to make them $500 a month. And when they earn $6,000 a year, We help them start a startup in the problem, the water space, for example,
Yeah.
in your case, or education in your case, so that they can make $1 million exit or $1 million startup while they're at school. And why am I doing all this? Because the economics of our country is really bad. So the number one priority in Norway and Sweden is climate change.
Yeah.
The number one priority in Pakistan and other parts, underdeveloped countries, economics. If you can't have food on the table, you're not going to worry about the bird or the climate or
reasonably. Yeah.
So that is why I want to. This school system is designed for fixing the economic problem, because if earning $500 can be child's play, any adult can also play the same game, right? So that's the narrative I'm pitching over here.
I'm trying to remember all my questions throughout this. So when you say that you teach people to become leaders, what do you mean by that specifically? What is a leader?
A leader is a person. Why is Greta Thunberg famous for?
Okay.
She becomes a lighthouse. She is the person people refer to for climate change. But she's the person people want to talk about climate change. Both who have the solution and both who have the problem. So if somebody had a problem about climate change in, say, Bosnia or Botswana, they would look up Greta Thunberg and they would say, Greta, can you help us solve the climate change? Can you pick this issue for us? And if she did, that problem, that other friends of her who know the solution will come to, okay, Greta, can you connect with the people in Botswana? I can fix that problem for them.
Yeah.
So Greta is a lighthouse for both parties, a telephone operator, literally, who
social network,
social systems entrepreneur who's fixing the system by connecting the dots together.
Okay.
So within the network, you have the problem and you have the solution.
And they just need to find each other and become friends. Wow.
And then the lighthouse effect is about finding each other, because if you are the lighthouse and you're a boat coming in, you see the lighthouse. And then the lighthouse says, no, don't come here now because there's no space. Or what's that other thing, the aeroplane tower thing?
The watchtower, is it called that? The control tower. Yeah.
I like lighthouse better. People understand it.
Yeah.
So that's what leader is to me.
Yeah.
That you are visible. There's this person can solve it for you. That's what you lead. Right. So in this house, there is Stellan. And if I knew that I have this problem, so we'll go to Stellan. So I say, oh, go to this guy. He can serve you the food. Go to this guy.
No, that's his exact job. Yeah.
So that is what I'm making. That is the leader to me. In today's world, that is all we need. And very soon, I hope that AI can take over this job, so we can just find each other, because that's the biggest challenge. People can't find each other.
Wow.
People who have jobs can't find the people who want to work. People who want to work cannot find the people who want to job. It's a big issue to find.
But with a problem that could be simple if everyone actually understood it. A problem with a solution that could be simple, by my understanding.
Well, there are a lot of solutions. There's thousands of people. People are not stupid. And generally,
no,
people
definitely
are smart. So I think there are solutions. That's why I'm very excited about AI, because soon enough, it will tell us, don't do this. Just call this guy. Just call them. I'm telling you, just call this person. He knows this is a problem, and he would this thing on us all the time, so it knows exactly what's going on. So it just can tell us, just call this guy. He'll just solve it.
You have a very positive view of the world, but it's also very realistic.
I have a more realistic view. I don't think it's positive. I think it's just. I don't know if it's negative, but
positive is a relative word. And like in relation to my view, it is very positive, actually. I mean, just the change with AI is not something that I believe to be extremely positive, even though it has a lot of opportunities. It's a tool, yes.
But it's a very, very good tool.
Yeah.
If we start to use it in the right way.
Definitely.
And that's really empower. It can make us happier. If you meet somebody interesting, if you meet a nice girl who you really like, it makes you happy.
Yeah.
If you meet a human being who has shared value, you just are happy. If you get a photo of a boat you like, it makes you happy. And whatever makes you happy.
If it knows us, it can make us happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is happiness? Happiness is nothing but just some chemical in our brain.
Yeah, definitely.
So if the AI can help us release more chemical, we just have to, without taking the drugs.
Well, yeah, I do agree. See, the problem with a lot of these tools that have so many opportunities is the fact that I almost instantly believe them to be see that they will be used in a negative manner. And yeah, they definitely will. However, if the prevalence...
You don't have to stop living your life because somebody someday will use them in a negative way. Yes, they will. The nuclear bomb will be used in the wrong way. The bombs would be used. The guns would be used in the wrong way. But doesn't mean you should stop living.
Exactly. And if you manage to actually propagate for your cause a different view, which you perceive to be positive, you could make that less prevalent.
I don't know what prevalent.
Less frequent. Less. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, AI can kill us. 10% chances are AI will kill all humanity.
But then, so what does it matter?
Yeah.
It's this nihilism at that point.
It is what it is. So if that will happen, it will happen. But then we will see what we do about it. But right now, it's not killing us. It's a really powerful tool. It can create enormous amount of abundance. I think I told the other guy, I will tell you also, I was watching a podcast yesterday, and it's about how the world has changed, and it used to take 67 years to make $1 billion company. It used to take thousands of people, and now it takes 3 people to make $1 billion company. The life cycle of the company dropped from 60 years to 15 years to, in my opinion, just 6 months. You can just take API of ChatGPT, use a Python script, make an amazing tool, sell it for $10 million, exit it in 3 months.
Yeah.
Because, for example, you want somebody to try, you just have people try it in Pakistan because there's 150 million smartphones, exit the thing and do another thing. Because by the time you exit, the whole world will already be changed. AI tools are going to be, the cycle of change is faster than ever. Ever. I mean,
it's just accelerating. Yeah.
So we need to create a startup, get 1 million users.
Yeah, it's over there.
Right there. Go get out of the kitchen and turn left. And then you just exit it, and then you do another startup. And that's it. So people were churning breads. Now you will have to churn startups because it's very changing. Carl, here.
It's just past the table to the left.
Go straight. Yeah. Congratulations.
No, but have we been going for too long?
No.
Okay.
I'm fine. I'm happy. I'm enjoying having a future leader next to me. You're really fantastic young man.
Thank you. Yeah, the same to you.
Keep your curiosity high.
Oh, definitely. Always. I will actually take one specific part and utilize it immediately. The fact that you actually make your students change the last name, I found super fascinating because that is a commitment.
Yeah.
And it's also just turning it into your identity.
Correct.
And in order to be able to call yourself something, you do, in order to
use it. Walk away from it.
No, exactly. So you're actually stuck and, well, not stuck, but you do have...
Getting married.
Yeah.
So most of the people in the West don't get married anymore because they don't want the commitment. And if you're not committed to something, it won't work out. That's why a lot of people who get married also break the marriage because there's option to break the marriage. In our part of the world, people don't get divorced. People get committed. Girls marry a person who they haven't met before. So they meet each other on the wedding night.
But that is slightly contradictory to what you just said, the fact about creating startups and leaving startups. I mean, that is not...
So solving a problem, and then that's, I think it's evolution. So starting a startup, getting 1 million users, selling it for $10 million is an evolution, not discommitment, because it's obsolete. For example, MSN, Yahoo, Skype, they were older messenger softwares before you were born, probably.
But all of this can be applied to relationship. You start a relationship, you socialize with that person, you engage in the relationship, then the relationship becomes obsolete because
Not necessarily.
No, not necessarily. And so the same is true for the startup. But if it does, as in you don't feel, if you want a relationship that is built or rather based on actual love for each other, it's also important to have other aspects. But in that case, when the actual light fizzles out, so to say, then the relationship would become obsolete if you define a relationship by the actual love, which means that you should move on.
I think we should stick to relationship is a totally different topic. If I get there, it will be challenging. Let's stick to the school part and the education part now.
Oh no, I do. Oh yeah, sorry, I do understand definitely. Okay,
relationships are very. It's a totally different topic altogether.
Yeah,
I was giving an analogy to explain you better.
Okay, yeah, no, definitely. But the concept, you have to pick where you actually do commit and where you don't. You're right.
Yeah.
So when you talk about a company evolving, for example, with the AI, you said the fact that you could just start up an AI company, write some lines of Python code, integrate an API.
Use that GPT API.
Yeah,
exactly. API, create some powerful tool.
I already know this. I mean, I've seen examples of people doing it. It's once again the potatoes. But I don't commit to it because I don't believe that I could do it. I don't believe that it would be possible. In a sense, it's the exact same conundrum.
No, it's...
No?
So if you want to solve it, the way you solve it is... so the way you eventually get people to eat potato is have a lot of people eat potato.
Yeah.
Right? So if you are having a problem in creating a startup, you just hang out with people who do startup. And if you just hang out with them and you will see, here's my friend who made $10 million. Here's my other friend who made $5 million. Here's my another friend who made $10 million or $100 million. And I think I'm smarter than this guy. I can do it. So then you force yourself and so have you ever heard of the term, I'm not happy with myself?
Have
you heard of the term, I am not happy with myself?
Well, I've had the expression, yeah.
Yeah. So what does that mean? I and myself. Is it one person or two person?
Right. Yeah.
Yes. So it's actually humans are, in my experience, in my philosophy, in my belief, we have a intellect, and then we have our limbic system, which is the old brain. And our old brain is emotional driven, and our logical brain, the new brain, the frontal cortex, which is called, is more logical. So you give logic and it makes sense to it, but it doesn't make sense to the limbic system.
Oh.
So you have to kind of make a fool out of your own brain in order to make it do things which you really want it to do. So again, there are two people inside you.
The limbic system and the logical.
Yeah. So most education empowers your logic, but it doesn't empower your emotions. So for example, let's see what is emotion. You're hungry. You see food or you smell food. All of a sudden, your brain will shut down and you will be forced to eat something. You will get up, you can't read anymore, you can't study anymore, you'll be forced. You're walking around, you're a young man, you see a beautiful girl, all of a sudden, oh, she's very pretty. So your brain just shuts down.
So to say, more primal instinct rather the limbic system.
Correct.
Okay, yeah.
It is the limbic system. Then you somebody says something to you, oh, you are such a bad boy. and then it just makes you angry, and then again the brain shuts down. So you will have to learn how to control your own brain over the next years. If you could learn it,
The logical brain, that is.
how to use logical brain to control your limbic system.
Okay. I'm not entirely sure of your concept.
Okay. So logically,
Mm-hmm.
if you just ate food,
Mhm.
and if you see really, really yummy food coming in, you shouldn't be eating it
No.
because it's not good for you.
Right.
Good
That's
sense.
logical brain. Yeah.
But then the limbic system, the subconscious brain forces you to, let's try a little bit, I see how it is. And then you don't have the control on that other guy inside you.
Yeah.
Right? You will be forced by that system, by the desire, just by thinking we get lubrication inside our mouth. You just desire things.
Mm.
And to control your desire desire is nothing. It's just a joke. It's just your brain telling you, giving you chemicals to go and get this based on the older programming of the operating system of our body.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
150 years ago, we were not as equipped with information, right? Now, and the brain is designed thousands and millions of years ago
for different context. Yeah.
So, but it takes over us, our logical part.
Mm-hmm.
And then the logical brain, they say, is 0.1%, and 99.9% is the limbic brain. So you have to learn how to make food out of your
logical brain,
illogical brain, or the subconscious brain. The logical brain should be able to control the illogical brain or the subconscious brain.
But you spoke earlier about the fact that we would be happy.
So I will come back to, first let me answer the question.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So all this is connected to your, Python, OpenAPI, OpenAI.
Yeah.
You can write code, but you're still not making that millions of dollars, which you kind of want to make. And the reason is because you didn't have those friends who awakens the other desire in you, that you really want to make it. You're like, oh, it's okay, I don't need to, because you're not surrounding yourself with those crazy people who are doing those, who are like you, who are like what you want to become. So just by changing your friends, you will be able to do it, because now you're not. It's not just the logical guy. So the logical guy will just drag your illogical guy or the subconscious guy to surround yourself with the new kind of friends.
Okay, yeah.
The new kind of people who make millions of dollars. And then your subconscious brain can just learn very quickly how to make those millions of dollars. And it will force you to make the decision, because it will create desire hard enough, so much desire, so much hunger. Oh, I'm so hungry. I'm hungry. Because it will force you to, because you will see it every day. And then you're like, I need this. I have to do this. So you will force yourself. So to answer your question, if you are unable to do it, it's not because you don't want to do it. It's because you don't want it hard enough. It's your logical brain who wants it, but your emotional brain is not helping you.
So you want a person to be able to control the emotional brain, the limbic system.
If you don't, then you can't get anything.
No, and change its goals to align with the logical brain.
Here you
go. Okay, yeah.
Kid.
Thank you. No, but okay. Yeah, then I do understand. Definitely. But yeah, because the way for us to be happy is to transform or control our illogical brain. Because the illogical brain is...
happiness. What is happiness?
Well, the happiness... Okay, so if we just establish that we want happiness, and the happiness comes from the logical brain, the limbic system. No?
Not the logical brain.
The illogical brain.
The subconscious brain.
Exactly.
The limbic system.
Yeah. Yeah. So if it comes from the illogical brain, the limbic system, you would want either to follow it or to change its goals.
Correct.
Yeah, because the only way to be happy is to actually live in a way that aligns with the brain. Yeah. Okay. With the limbic system. Yeah. Okay.
They're getting it. That's good.
It's a lot
Took me
of,
forever to understand, and I'm not sure if I'm correct.
and I'm not sure if I do entirely understand it, but we are developing. Yeah.
Because I called a friend of mine who's a neurologist and teaches neurology, how the brain works in the US.
Neurology. Yeah. Okay.
How the brain works.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
a brain doctor.
No, I do understand. Yeah.
So I said, I tried to explain all this. He said, look, I think, look, that we only understand 1% of how the brain works.
Definitely. Yeah.
So whatever you think is right, nobody really knows. So,
and a lot of the things we are proving are within our frame of reference. So in no way can they be objectively true. They're objectively true within that reference. So your perception of the brain would be true within your frame of reference and would be applicable to certain situations. And in others, maybe it doesn't actually apply or wouldn't work. The concept doesn't have to be actually true if it does affect you and help you in certain situations, which could be seen as a treason to the empirical evidence and so on. But once again, those are just based on concepts.
So I just explained you what I think you can do.
Exactly.
And I might be proven totally wrong in 20 years and 10 years. But so far, it has worked for me and for a lot of other people. Because I learned from other people, right? And the way we learn is through other people and their experiences, and the way we decide is good or bad is also based on.
Could I specify we learn from other views? Because once again, that's about the actual frame of reference.
Yeah, other views and other people's experiences.
Yeah, because once again, if it applies, if it helps you, it is valid. And even though I might not understand the concept fully, it might still help me and be false in, but be false in parts.
Like medicine, we just take it because we trust the doctor.
Yeah, and lots of medicine has been proven to just be placebo. So, yeah.
That still helps us.
I'll actually start introducing myself with a name and a taken surname.
Sure.
That sounds like a fantastic idea. Is it rather...
Capital Future took this name also. I've advised him to change his last name.
Yeah.
He hasn't so far. But it has...
Legally?
No, not even legally. This is on social media. All your Twitter handles can be changed. Legal process is very limited.
And not actually the necessary part. If the other part actually makes you convinced that it's a part of your identity.
Correct. If you... So, for example, the day before I met a gentleman in Oslo, he goes by the name Soul Wind or Wind something. That's not his legal name. But he said, I have been using this name for 10 years. This is
Solvent.
Wind. And
oh, yeah, okay.
It has wind and I just remember wind.
Yeah, I have a way.
So, people have been changing names forever. And I request my students, people who get initiated in my system, I express them that you have to change your name. You have to decide. Because another reason is that a lot of our names are just simple names. So my name is Rehan. It means basil. And my last name, legal last name is to be Ahmed. Every third name is Ahmed. So you can't really find...
That is the fun part, yeah. Because not only are our names irrelevant, they are just used as an identifier.
And you can't find them. So if you can't find an identifier, then what's the point of having...
Exactly, yeah.
So that's why if you became... What's your first name?
Moltas.
Moltas Education-wala. You will be one and only Moltas Education-wala on the planet. So if somebody Googled you, just write your name where you are. And it's easier to find. And if it's easier to find, it's like you have the front shop at the best super mall or shopping mall, and people can easily find you. If you want to do something hanky-panky, then yes, don't have a unique name. But if you want to be available to people, yes, have a unique name.
Sure. But I just think that the fact that you are using a part of your identity or the wanted identity
But that's how it used to. Bakers were bakers.
Exactly.
Goldsmiths were goldsmiths. Ironsmith, Mr. Smith was ironsmith.
It derives from that exactly. So that was something we used to do.
Yeah. But now we don't do it anymore. It's not identified to what Stalin does. And we just do it because our grandfather and his grandfather was doing it. So it's about time. Yeah, we have to. It's about time we can just redo that.
And
and if you made one video a day on education, in 4 years, everybody will know you'll be Greta Thunberg.
And I'm right now feeling an inclination both to actually do this exact thing you just described, but also a hindrance. I feel like it would be such a big commitment. And that could be part the fact that I don't want to close my doors on other opportunities which would be taken out because me using my time.
So education is not something. Let's say, for example, you go to high school and then you go into bachelor's, and then in the bachelor's you decide you want to do bachelor's of education.
Yeah.
It's also a high commitment, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And a lot of people don't make it, but eventually they make it because their friends are going there. So, or they did not have enough marks to go become a doctor, so they just became an education.
The potatoes are everywhere. Yeah.
So, yes, it might look like it's a commitment, but I have changed my name many times on Facebook. I started a venture selling French fries. So I was Fries Wala.
Okay.
People know me by Facebook Wala. People know me by nowadays by ChatGPT Wala. People know me by Fiverr Wala. People know me by Canva Wala. People know me by Internet Wala. Because over the years things change. But my last name is Allahwala, which is not, I didn't put it there. It's a family name. And it's a generic name. It means God Wala.
Okay.
So a person of God. So it's there. But a lot of students of mine have kept it. And so I look at the name and then I suggest them don't do it. Take a more general context, but it also depends on who they are and what they really wanted to.
The last name you said was Allahwala. And that would mean?
Wala means belong to.
Yeah.
And Allah means God.
Oh, no, right. That is your... Sorry, I saw it in the context of Swedish where Allah means everything. So I thought that you actually named yourself.
That's a really... Thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
Allah means everything.
Yeah, without H. But yeah. Ah, okay.
Interesting.
I didn't even... Yeah, now I do understand. Okay. But, well, when you are prepared to change so often,
I am, but not everybody shouldn't do that because its whole idea is to create an identity. But I'm not everyone. I created 150 websites, 150 projects, 150 businesses. I'm not, I was born in a time when I needed to do it. Like, when you're in a small town, you don't have specialist shops. You have general stores. So when I was coming and doing what all I do, there was nobody doing anything like this. So I had to be journalist. I was doing everything, literally Allah, because I was trying to provoke and encourage people to do a lot of things to change our country. But as time passes, I tell them, don't do everything. Go focus, because if there are 3 general stores already, you don't need to open the 4th one. Open a specialized photography store or a gym or whatever. Don't have to do the same thing.
No.
So in your case, think about it and so do something, because I think that as I said, I believe in taking the conscious brain and using it to control the subconscious brain. One of the way to control the subconscious brain is also admiration.
Okay. And
also pushing and pulling. So, for example, if both of your parents are pushing you to become someone, and then you have 5 friends who are also forcing you to do something, you will actually do it.
Yeah.
Because you will just give in the social context.
Okay,
and
so
do it. So if you change your name to Education Wala, and I connect you to 50 or 100 or 500 education walas, who are working educationists, basically, you will stay educationist because you will keep on enjoying, you will
and you'll
keep on
be in that
learning,
context.
and you will be in a higher position in that social circle, so you will feel comfortable. So I have been using these techniques to create leaders. As I said, my job is literally to create leaders now. And for example, this small little video will end up you having 1,000 new followers from Pakistan. So if you actually keep engaging with them, you will end up in Pakistan in 2 years, at least for a visit. Just because you have so many friends. They're welcoming, they're loving, they're caring. Just like I ended up in Stallion's home. Just because we were connected, and I was connected to Cillian, I was connected to other friends of his. So I was forced, I was lured in
by the context,
by the love, by the appreciation, by
the friendship.
So if you were connected to 1,000 Pakistani friends, you will be forced. I am in Sweden today because I have friends here. There's no other reason, absolutely no other reason for me to be in Sweden today. I came because one of my friends pulled me, like, oh, we will go and hang out with them, guy, let's go. And I came, and then the other guy said, oh, wait, let's go and do this. And then tomorrow I'm being dragged into another one. So, and it's the desire, and I feel nice in Sweden because I end up meeting people like you and, so many other people who are so different than what I'm used to. And just
so you're actually also expanding your box.
I know that I enjoy meeting people like who actually ask me lovely questions, and I don't find them in my network where I live. I don't have them in my network, so I enjoy that. And so I'm open to expansion over there, whereas I'm not open to expansion anymore within Pakistan, because I have done this for 25 years in Pakistan, and it's like I can't do this anymore. It's just overwhelming. I'm open to more cultures, but I'm not open to my own culture anymore. Okay. It's like I have had enough.
Because there will be moments where it is okay and you should define borders. Is what I am taking out of it.
Kind of, yes. No, border. So it's not like a national border. It's kind of people's border. So for example, I am in telecom business. I make money from telecom, but I don't enjoy it anymore. I did it for 10, 15 years, and now I'm over it because the people in that space are not making another kind of person come out of me. So I'm done with it. I don't enjoy telecom business anymore.
Because you don't enjoy the people?
Because I don't enjoy the people around in that space, in that business space. So it's not that they're bad people. They're amazing people, but there's no growth for me.
It's all individual, yeah.
So now I don't enjoy hanging out with people of Pakistani origin anymore, because I have had so many experiences with them that I'm just like, I've had enough. So, for example,
right. So the thing you do perceive as motivating and when you feel good is when you develop and manage to meet new cultures, new views.
For me, yes. But at the same time, if I can do more stuff in Pakistan than I can do here, because I have a couple of million people who follow me in Pakistan. And they are willing, they want to be able to connect with me. They want to be able to listen to me. They want to be able to learn from me. But I don't feel anything in return coming from them.
And the relationship has to be mutual.
Yeah. Right. So when I meet you, if I go into your house, for example, or I'm in Stellan's house, right? I have never been to a house like this in my life. Right? So it's totally different. It's like totally, it doesn't mean that I don't like it or like it. It's forget about like and like. I won't even know what I will not know, but I don't know if I don't try to know it.
Yeah.
So in this house setting, it's totally different. But somebody invited me in a Pakistani house. I've been to like 1,000 Pakistani houses. The chances of me finding anything new, it would be very bleak. But in a Swedish house, I have been to, this is my third house, fourth maybe fifth. But every time I come, I find something genuinely differently interesting to me because I just like different.
Yeah.
I just don't like the same thing over and over. I don't like to eat the same thing every day. I wear the same clothes every day. I have like 6 suits, exactly the same. I don't change them. I've done that for 40, 50 years of my life. That I used to be excited about clothes, but I'm no longer excited by clothes. I used to be excited about telecom. I'm no longer excited about telecom. I used to go and seek out Pakistani people wherever I go. I don't enjoy it anymore. But now I feel like even though my country is beautiful, amazing, exciting, fantastic, but it doesn't give me the growth I need. It's more
The keyword is me, I believe. The fact that it could be individual or it is individual.
The word is me.
As in, you're talking about it. It doesn't develop. It doesn't actually develop me. It doesn't entice me.
It doesn't grow me as a person.
Exactly.
As a human being.
But for others, it will be exciting because it is something.
I'm different, right? So for you, getting a new 1,000 Facebook friends from Pakistan would be different. Exciting because you don't know any of them. You don't know anything about it. So anything good or bad would still help you grow. For me, that audience doesn't grow me.
No, because you're used to it. I do understand. Yeah. Or I believe I do.
So I think this was fantastic. We talked for over an hour.
Wow.
I really enjoyed it. And I think you should start to do podcasting. I think you did a fantastic job. And I would request you and encourage you to do similar conversations with my students.
Okay.
They will reach out to you for sure. And then just ask questions and let them ask you questions and answer. Because when people ask you a question, it will be like, oh, I never thought about this. It's just really beautiful when people the reason I asked Talion to ask me is to interview me earlier is I don't do interviews anymore in English.
Oh?
Because most of my network is from Pakistan.
Right.
So they already know I have 12,000 videos on YouTube. Out of those 12,000 videos, 11,500 are in Urdu. So not really much I can say anymore, which I haven't said earlier. So I don't even feel excited about making an interview
because
anymore.
It isn't new and
it's already there. Just go and YouTube it. I've already answered it. So why are you asking me again? So I don't like repetition part. But Stalin would ask me questions which would be so different
from earlier.
Yeah. You would ask me questions which would be so different. He would ask me questions that would be so different because you can't, he sees what I'm doing, but he doesn't really understand what's happening 100%. So there would be nuances that he would ask, oh, I saw you do this. What did it really mean? So I have an opportunity to explain.
But once again, we are managing to merge different views and, well, share our realities.
Yeah. Really interesting young man. You know, if he was a girl, I'll probably be in love with him already. Wonderful young man. I hope that he connects with everyone in the school and talk brilliantly. And I think you should definitely start podcasting. I think, and you should think of renaming yourself.